Aloha, and thank you for joining me in video number 5 from Challenge Your Thoughts or the Challenge Your Thoughts workbook. We are working on cognitive distortion number 3, mental filter. Alrighty, let's dig in. So, the definition of mental filter: you pick out a single negative detail and you dwell on it until your vision of reality darkens, like the drop of ink that discolors an entire beaker filled with water. So just envision the picture in your head, right? You have a beaker of water, clear, right, transparent. You disperse a drop of ink from the top, and you see that ink just kind of discolor the whole beaker, right? What's happening is that this is a metaphor for your vision of reality, right? It just darkens, it just becomes heavy, right? You cannot see through, you cannot see your way out, right? So that's what mental filter does to you. Let's look at a distortion scenario. Okay, you ask a boy or a girl that you had strong feelings for out on a date, and then that person tells you, "Hey, I like you as a friend, but I'm just not ready." And then you start to tell yourself that you're a loser just because the person says no, right? You start to tell yourself, "Well, he or she didn't really mean that. He does. It's not that he likes me as a friend. He's just not ready. It's just I'm not good enough." Right? And then you start to feel, because you tell yourself that, right? Because it's a distortion that you paint in your mind, right? This dark reality, this negative dark reality, that you just start feeling that your whole world is crumbling. Now, how does that impact your thinking? I'm pretty sure you can guess. You're constantly putting yourself in this, for this moment, right, in this negative, just negative state. You make a choice. You're actually choosing. And remember, you don't have to choose, right? But you are choosing to focus on one thing that happened that was negative. This person said no, not interested. Rather than focusing on the reality that just this person said no. So you can choose to think that this person saying no is negative, or this person saying no is just this person saying no. That's it. Now, if you stop there, right, then that's all it is. But when you start to think this way, what happens is you perpetuate this way of thinking about yourself. Okay, so then you start telling yourself this lie that you are not good enough, that you always hear the word no, even when that's not true. You could hear the word no once every couple months, right? But you're not going to tell yourself that, because you're just going to choose to be negative about it. And that, I'm sure you can see that this perpetuates just negativity all around. And no one wants to live like that, their lives like that. No one wants to be around someone who lives their life like that, right? Because what does that do, right? It makes you realize when people are doing that. You might not realize when you're doing it to yourself, but you realize when someone's doing it to themselves, and you don't want to be around that, right? It's draining. So how do you fix this? Well, it's easy and it's complicated. Well, I get not complicated, but it's easy, but sometimes we just don't do it, right? What do? You just tell yourself that all a no means is that you're one step closer to your yes. You remind yourself that in this particular scenario, there's someone for everyone. There's a reason that this adage is common, because it's true, right? How many times have you been in situations, or maybe not been in personal situations, where someone said no and then you got a yes, right? The next person, and then that person just was just the greatest partner for you, right? But how many times have you heard of, situations like that, where someone felt like their whole world was ending because, this, this relationship didn't work out, and then it's just totally the opposite, right? I mean, how many times has this happened? Even personally, in your life, not to you, but like I said, just someone you knew. But it's so funny how we cannot remember the positive things so much as we can remember the negative, right? And so you have to remind yourself that, like I said, or like I read here, right? A no just means that you're one step closer to your yes. you have to tell yourself, right, that you are excited to see what's coming next for you, because if this no was a no, right, then your yes is coming. That's exciting. You can tell yourself, wow, like I really thought that this person was the one, but this person said no. So I can just imagine what gift of a person who's going to come my way. So you keep telling yourself that you want to live with this excitement, waiting for this awesome person who's just the right fit for you to come your way. You want to tell yourself that you're okay, and that you appreciate the honesty of that person, and that honesty of that person is actually helping you to find the real person that's good for you, right? So there's always a positive spin that you can choose to believe. And then you tell yourself, right, that you are just only hours away from an even greater day. And so it's just, that's how you fix it. You choose to think the positive opposite of this negative thought that you have. Alrighty, so let's think about just how well you deal with setbacks. Do you deal well with setbacks? Hopefully, if you've been with me for Project 28, or just if you're not, you deal well with setbacks, that's great, right? But if you don't, or if there are ways that you can improve, what are they? Okay. So do you deal well with setbacks? I want you to answer that question. Okay. Are you improving in terms of dealing with setbacks? How will you be better? Because there's always ways, right? Even if we're good at it, there's always ways where you can be better. And then let's say that you need, right, or you would like to improve, which I would venture to guess is 99% of us. What strategies will you use? Okay, so choose something from here, right? From how do you fix this? Or from overgeneralization, right? The strategies we use to fix overgeneralization, which was number 2, the video previous. Or all or nothing thinking, right? Think about all those strategies that we've been talking about, or strategies that you've learned from other people, or just practicing within your life, and you want to write that here. Okay, so again, how do you deal with setbacks? How can you improve? And then what strategies will you use to improve? Now, if you just in this section here rewrite these strategies, that's a great start. A great way to just kind of internalize and to learn things, right, is to, or I guess practice things, would be for you to read, okay, write, speak out the things that you're gonna do, commit to it, right, on paper by writing it down. So you're going to hear it, you're going to say it, you're going to read it, you're going to write it down, and then you're going to have this as a resource that you can come back to. I hope that this was helpful to you. I can find myself sort of going round and round and round, because just talking about this gets me excited, because it just makes me feel like we are all empowered to just be our better selves. And for me, because I have a propensity, or a tendency, I should say, to think negative as my default, it's exciting to know that I don't have to stay there. So anyway, I hope this was clear. I hope this helped you. If you have anything that you want to share, please leave it in the comments. I am really trying to build a community here where we are all helping each other. So thank you again for staying with me, for joining me in this video, and I hope to see you in the next video, which will be Cognitive Distortion number 4 from the Challenge Your Thoughts booklet, and that will be disqualifying the positive. That's the next distortion. Again, thank you so much for joining me.